Morning, girls. How we doing? We are back here with Chantal Marie, Foodie the Beauty of the Reverse of Mariams. And sorry, I may actually be a little bit quieter than usual with this one. Pretty much, I am, as you might have noticed, there's no potato guy on screen or anything like that because I'm actually on a different setup here because my potato guy isn't even saved on this computer that I'm using because I'm about to travel. So, yeah, I saw this video came out and I wanted to quickly get it recorded and get it out whilst I'm pretty much waiting, ready to go. So, I guess we're going to get into this. Unfortunately, this video starts with in this video. ... And this, the second I saw that, I was like, it's gonna be fake. A lot of this is gonna be cringe because I'm so not ready to travel and bigger than ever, which is like blatantly true. Like everyone in the entire world knows that, but she's doing this like fake thing where remember in the old videos where she used to do it, she would always like stare off into the distance and go like, guys, I just don't know if I'm ready for this. And it'd be like later in this video and I wonder what she's not ready for, and it'd be like the delivery man's coming and she hasn't found her change yet to give him a tip. It's always fake shit like that. I guess we're just going to get into it. It's 18 minutes long and I'm not overly excited. We're on 1.2 high speed. Let's go.
Like, for me, I don't like the situation I'm in. I wish I was able to change it a bit, but I didn't. So this is the situation I have to deal with. How am I going to...
I wish I could have been able to change it, but unfortunately I wasn't able to. It's because you sat there and you ate lots of fucking pizza, and I know people requested me to react to that video where she had a 3-stack pizza thing and she ate 2 of them because one of them was definitely for Sally, even though on the next live stream apparently she was just seen sitting there eating it anyway. So yeah, I watched it through another reactor. I watched it through, I think it was Yaba. Yeah, it was a Yaba I watched that one through, and it was just kind of pathetic.
Going to make it comfortable? How am I going to make it good for myself, because it's crunch time and I'm just not ready. I'm just not ready.
When she says crunch time, she's referring to crunchy bars or the sound the seat will make when she sits on it. I don't get it. This thing is overly dramatic. It's kind of cringe. It's kind of embarrassing. Traveling is not that difficult. Especially when she's traveled, I don't know, she's a world traveler at the super fat, obese level that she has been. So I don't know why suddenly this is like a big dramatic thing. Especially when during the live stream, I think she was gloating that to buy a second seat, it's the $80, which is like kind of nothing. Especially when she tries to claim that she's a super big baller. So this whole dramatic like twist she's trying to go for doesn't make sense.
Ready. This is just gonna be.
Oh my god! How to travel fat? Well, for you, how to travel fat was to pretend to be disabled and get driven in one of the wee scoots and merge about. That's pretty much all you did. I buttered myself up to get in this seat.
Welcome back to another video. So the purpose of this video today is going to be talking about traveling as an obese person, somebody who's severely overweight like myself.
See, there you go. Okay, there's a difference between being like obese and being severely obese. Like Chantal, like this, most of what she's about to say is not going to be like relevant for like the normal fatty around, because the normal fatty can still get in the seat, can still sit comfortably, can still sleep on the plane, can still walk to the gate, everything like that. Whilst for Chantal, it is like, I don't know, get me a fucking forklift and carry me there, bro.
And how I manage to travel long distances, how I manage to travel at all as an overweight person.
Basically don't.
And
have you heard
sure that there are a lot of obese people out there who would love to travel, but they're just afraid to for certain reasons.
Is she unaware, apart from how like ghastly and weird she looks? Like, I realize that I'm on a different screen, so she looks like whiter than usual. She looks like paler than usual, like she hasn't left the house in 20 years. Imagine Chantal, world traveler, not leaving her house for like weeks on end. I couldn't imagine it, guys. But like, it's not really like relevant like whatsoever to like the majority of people. I think she doesn't realize that she is on the extreme end of extreme morbid obesity because she's like 450 pounds. But she's trying to say, oh, I know there are other fat people who are worried about traveling. It's like, you're making it sound like you're just talking to like a 200 or 300 pound person as opposed to you, because there's not many people who are actually like you.
Reasons, albeit the stigma that goes along with being overweight, the reception from public.
Yeah, but it's because of people like you that there is a negative reception. So, especially when you're like laughing about encroaching on people's size and you're hoping you have a thin person sitting next to you so you can take more of their room. That's where the stigma comes as a fatty on a plane, because people see you show up and go like, oh no, oh god, please don't sit beside me, please don't sit beside me, because they imagine it's going to be someone like you. And then you gloat about being someone like you.
I'm not sure how it's, overweight people are treated in different countries, to the
Badly.
Actual logistics of traveling, like the physical part. How
the logistics, she has to get a solicitor to draw up a plan for her to drive there. What?
Hard. Mobility-wise, or plane traveling and stuff like that. Will you fit in the
plane
seat?
Traveling.
Little fears, that overweight people tend to have when it comes to traveling. So I'm just going to talk a bit about...
I'm assuming it is, after all this spiel, it is eventually going to be like, you actually can do it, because even I can do it. I'm a world traveler, and I travel all the time, guys. You should be so proud of me.
About my personal experience, in particular in regards to my current trip coming up. Now, I will say, I've been saying...
I'm at the point where I just don't think this trip exists. I'm at that stage. She's mentioned it too many times. She's really started hammering it in once people started criticizing her a lot because of the Julia thing, so I'm kind of leaning towards this trip that isn't happening. People already speculated that when she did that weird fake live stream where she had like a pre-recorded Julia meowing in the background, that was her doing like border hop, which she'd said she was probably going to do anyway, and it was around the right time period, but I think it was maybe a little bit early. I personally don't think that she's going to go somewhere. And maybe it's just me hoping. Maybe it's me being really greedy there and hoping. Because you guys know I love the travel content. And it's when I'm going to be away, so I'm going to miss it. It's going to be like heartbreak. It's going to ruin my holiday, guys. But I don't know. It's when you're trying to come out here and sell about like being a world traveler and traveling fat and how you're teaching everyone how to be a fat traveler who travels whilst fat. When your title is "I'm so not ready to travel and bigger than ever." When we start with that. What confidence is, like, if I was, like, a 450-pound death fat, what confidence would I have in you to be able to tell me what to do?
For, months. I want to get ready for the trip. I want to lose some weight for the trip because I 100% don't dispute the fact that, if I lose weight, my mobility will increase greatly. I'll feel better. I'll be able to do a lot more.
Wow.
But, as it turns out...
I don't even know if that's, like, true anymore. Like, isn't she, like, gone? Hasn't that ship sailed and then sunk randomly, mysteriously off the coast of wherever the fuck that super yacht sank? Also, why have you only got like half eye makeup on?
I've been struggling a lot, and I haven't been able to meet my goal. And
maybe you shouldn't have bought 5 boxes of ice cream in your last haul. That's a suggestion.
But I'm still traveling. We have the tickets from a long time ago. The hotel booked from a long time ago.
Oh, suddenly from a long time ago, which is like really weird and really suspicious since like she recently said that she wasn't actually going to be traveling anytime soon. However, then suddenly changed it and said that she was going to be traveling soon, but now you've had it from a long time ago. Admittedly, when your life expectancy is maybe the next 6 months, I guess maybe a couple weeks ago was a long time ago.
Oh, and I still had a lot of fun when I went to Thailand.
Did you?
So how I did it...
Bro, it was 5 weeks of eating cheese toasties, which admittedly for Chantel may actually have been fun.
Basically, I do still have some anxieties, of course, like everyone else, but I know I might look super tired because I have allergies.
You don't. You look like shit. You always look like shit. There is no difference in your appearance as usual. You always look like shit. Calm down, keep going.
And I have no makeup on. Eye makeup on right now.
Do you just naturally have like a black line? What the fuck? Do you just naturally have like a black line on that, on just that eye and a little bit there, but no makeup on whatsoever, guys?
So yeah, it's almost time to...
Also, like the fact that she even drew attention to that, like it seems weird, especially when she usually tries it all. So like she has like her lipstick and all on, so it seems weird that she's trying to like doll herself up in one way, but then also at the same time go, oh, you guys, you might notice my eyes. I don't have any makeup on right now. She's really trying to make herself seem even more beaten down, which, with the start of the video, it seems very fake. So it seems very clickbaity, this one.
To travel, and I have not lost any weight. I've gained some weight.
No.
So it will be a bit harder on me. But
quotations,
there are some ways that you can still be comfortable while traveling as an obese person, as comfortable as you can be.
I'm bringing 5 packs of ice cream onto the plane with me. Security just has to try and stop me. They won't survive.
Obviously, losing the weight would have been ideal for me.
No.
Maybe I can,
just
lose some weight while I'm there, continue to try. We'll see.
Hi. Like when you went to Thailand, you spent 5 weeks sitting, like, Millie, not really that much different than what she is doing, like, currently right now, but you spent, like, a solid 5 weeks in your hotel room eating cheese sandwiches. Where is the weight loss going to come in?
Every day is a fight, a struggle for me, and so yeah, but that's a topic for
another against gravity.
So, the plane, the plane ride, sitting on the planes used to be one of my biggest fears as an overweight person.
And it should be.
I can tell you that most of the time, there was a couple times I got lucky, but I've flown.
This is 1.25. How is she talking this slowly? Guys, there have been times when I have been... Jesus. Like, especially just find the point, because we're going to go back to the Narnia bit, where she's going to pretend once again that she has never booked a second seat. She always fits in just one seat, guys. Bro, we know you book a second seat. Stop it. Not every single time you show up, by chance, the seat next to you is full. Especially when she claims, like, the entire rest of the plane is full, but luckily the seat next to her wasn't.
From Canada.
Do you remember that storyline she said about how, like, she had people coming up and asking to sit beside her because she thought, like, planes were like a bus and you could just get on and go, like, is this seat taken? And try and sit beside her. And she was like, and actually, I'd rather you not sit there. And they're like, okay. And they just left and walked away or something like that. I was like, but that's how planes work. Give it a side seat and you sit in the assigned seats.
Canada to Kuwait to the Middle East, 13-hour flight,
Wow.
14 hours in the plane.
17 hours in the plane.
Many times.
42 hours in the plane.
Most of the time I have to sit beside somebody, and
I don't think I've ever heard you claim to sit beside any. I'm honestly trying to think here. I remember, yeah, it was the same guy. I remember there's a guy she complained about who spilt, like, something on her, spilt wine on her. But then I remembered that was the little guy she was complaining about before, who'd come up and asked to sit next to her. Like, pretty much every time she travels, she always pretends she had a free seat next to her. Like, every time.
I think it just depends on your body type, your body shape,
Fat.
more than how much you weigh. Like, I'm an apple shape.
Apple. Is she an apple shape? Like, is she? Because she's got big fat legs as well. She's got a big fat face as well. But, like, yes, okay, the majority of the weight is carried around her stomach. But, like, I guess luckily for her, she's, like, front to back fat. You know, she's, like, 155 centimeters tall and 155 centimeters deep. Not even wide, just deep.
And, from the front, I still look big, but I don't look as big. I'm not as big from this way as I am sideways.
No.
So if you are...
Isn't that just like effigies wording?
Pear-shaped, you carry most of your weight in your hips, you're going to have a hard...
Wow. Thanks for explaining shit to us, bro. She needs to explain what being fat is to fat people, because that's apparently what this is aimed at. This is aimed at fat people. Does she really need to explain to people what being fat is?
Harder time, depending on your size, with the airplane seats that are very narrow.
No.
As opposed to somebody who carries most of their weight in the abdomen, you will probably need a seatbelt extender.
I really don't find the seats like that narrow. Like, I'm sorry, I'm really sorry, I don't. But I'm not parachuting, I don't have like fat ass or anything like that. But, like, I don't know, like, I play rugby, I've got thick enough thighs and stuff like that, but I don't find them narrow.
You can actually order one online, just Google search seatbelt extender for the...
Don't they give it to you, like, for free on the plane? I've never had to ask for one, but I'm pretty sure they give it to you for free. You don't have to bring your own. So, like, bring your own bottle, bring your own seatbelt extender.
Either a universal one or a particular airline you're looking for. They do sell them on Amazon for pretty cheap. Now, I don't mind asking, that's if you're not okay with asking for a seatbelt extender. I don't mind.
Why? People will look at you and they know you need a seatbelt extender. I wouldn't get that bit of being shy. It's like, I'm too shy to ask for a seatbelt extender because they'll know I'm fat. It's like, fat is a visual medium. Like, you can see it. It's like going to an IMAX screen.
Asking for a seatbelt extender. I get on the plane. They direct me to my seat. There's usually a flight attendant that is in the aisles. So I just ask them, may I have a seatbelt extender? You can even bring them to the back, ask to talk to them privately and ask for one.
What is wrong with you people? Like, genuinely, if this is like a concern you people have, I'm baffled. People can see you're fat. You don't need to be like, get them and take them to the side to be like, ma'am, I don't want to alarm you, but I'm rotund. I'm quite large. I have a big hoop. Like, they know, they can see you. I'd be surprised if they didn't ask you, do you need one? You don't need to take them aside. Can you follow me into this dark alleyway so I can give you some secrets? Yes, I'm fat.
One, and it's usually...
What?
They're very easy to use. You don't have to worry about that. They just clip into...
They're very easy to get. They're seatbelt. They're literally seatbelt extender. Fuck. She is struggling to find anything to talk. We're only a third the way through this as well.
To the seatbelt. So, yeah, I'm just used to it. I'm not really embarrassed by that.
Then why do you pretend that you're 300 pounds? I don't even look at what weight she said earlier on. Did you notice that? I didn't even look because I just don't care. I don't care because, like, I'm bigger than ever. Like, what are you trying to claim is you're bigger than ever now? I just don't believe you because we know you're like 450 pounds and you're probably going, yes, guys, I'm bigger than ever. I'm 313 pounds. Something like that, guys. It's so hard to be me. I've literally never been over 313 pounds before.
There's quite a few other people that need seatbelt extenders on the flights usually.
No.
If not, you're the only one, that's fine. You know.
I don't know. Maybe it's different in like North America. I'm sorry, I'm going to have to go with the old stereotype of Americans being big fatties, like, but like, I don't think I've ever seen anyone like super, super morbidly obese, like on a plane that I look at and go like, they need a seatbelt extender. Most people just like, this is why I don't get what she's talking about when she's talking about giving advice for like fat people and not realizing that she is like the gold standard fat person. She's unusual to see.
Just, you'll probably need one if you're a certain size or certain weight. But
No.
It's not always weight-based, so to say, if I'm this much weight, will I fit on a plane? It just depends on the dimensions. It depends on your body type. It depends on a lot of things. So if I am lucky and I don't have anyone seated beside me, I usually just lift up the other armrest for more comfort.
So sad.
But yeah.
Wouldn't that, especially because she's trying to pretend global traveler, foodie beauty, everything like that, let's all laugh at her together because it's ridiculous. Like, but like, wouldn't that be enough for you to be like, you know what, maybe I actually should like lose some weight if I'm like at the point of like having to do a fat guide video for being able to squeeze into a seat.
Depending on the airline, you can also, for an additional fee, small additional fee, book an extra seat beside you.
Usually not a small additional fee. like maybe if like the seat's free, you sometimes can bid on it. But I've never seen it somewhere where it's like, oh yeah, your seat costs $600 return. However, we'll get $50. We'll just give you an extra seat for free because if someone travel with you, it'll be $800. Maybe it is like that, and we're living in Dululu land, and everything's so hectic, guys. But I'm not seeing it. Like I know full well because like the company I'm traveling with, they will not stop sending me like things going like, do you want to upgrade? Do you want extra leg room? Do you want to move to first class? Just stuff like that constantly. It's like, no, I'm fine, thank you.
I know a few airlines do that. I think some American airlines, some international airlines. It just depends.
I think some people do that. I think maybe some American. I'm not actually sure. This is you giving advice. Your advice has been, maybe they might let you buy one for maybe cheap, but definitely will be cheap. But I don't know. Maybe it might not happen. I have no idea.
So you can also ask at the ticket counter when you're getting
I'm
your boarding
fat.
pass.
Can I have second seat?
Ask, are there any seats left? Because most people will have their seats by then. Are there any seats left that are... There's an empty seat beside. Another thing is, I love the...
But that's more embarrassing than asking for a seatbelt extender, isn't it? Like, asking for a seatbelt extender, like, yeah, you could just be like an unfortunate shape. You could be, I don't know, pregnant. Maybe pregnant people need a seatbelt extender or something like that. I don't know. But I just think asking for a seatbelt extender is a lot more casual to do than to go up and say, hi, can I have a free seat, please? I think that's a little bit more embarrassing, but you made that sound like that's some easiest thing in the world. Imagine implying that Foodie Beauty thinks begging for like money online is the easiest thing in the world.
Window seat, but the aisle seat actually gives you more room because you can kind of, whenever they're not doing dinner service, or you'll get knocked out by a cart. But
oh, you're the worst type of people.
Kind of put your legs out a bit into the aisle.
No, you shouldn't do that because people walk up and down the aisle.
Way you can spill out a bit into the aisleway is what I'm looking.
I'm super morbidly obese. Am I cute yet? No.
So I've become more accustomed with the travel that way, and I'm not too nervous about that. It's not as long of a flight this time as going to Canada, so it's something I can...
Hint, guys, it's not as far away as Canada. It's like, well, that narrows it down. Well, it rules out Canada, maybe America, and New Zealand. Thank fuck.
Indoor. As for the mobility part, because,
there is none.
Are
you
hard
have
to maneuver.
None.
Even for a fit person, they're exhausting. If
for like fit people, they get tired out. I think because that's what happens to me, and I don't think fit people are really that much better than me. So if I get tired in an airport, fit people they probably get tired too, because I'm like the gold standard of basically fucking everything. Bro, it's an airport. You're walking through an airport. When people say it's tiring being in an airport, it's because it's a lot of get up and go, sit around and wait kind of things, where you're standing in queues a lot, or you're sitting there waiting for security, or sitting there in line waiting to check in, and you finally get checked in, and you're like, oh, thank God I made it through that. And then you're like, oh, now I have to go and sit here and do nothing for hours, maybe at times, waiting until my next thing to get up and queue for. That's why people find airports like boring and tiring. Because it's like, stop, start, stop, start, start. And it's just kind of all over the place. And a lot of people just generally don't like traveling because people just want to get there because it's somewhat stressful in that kind of way. But like, for her, it's like, people are tired. It's like, no, you're tired because you need to take steps. Other people are tired because they're bored or they're not engaged or they hate standing in queues.
Have to be running around when you're tired and traveling all day. So I have a lot of health issues,
No,
and
no,
I do have
yay,
mobility issues
no,
because of my
no,
weight.
yay.
Somehow in travel day, I'm able to just like suck it up, but it is
Well, you're not. You literally get driven around in a scooter. Oh yeah, guys. Yeah, I just stuck it on. Remember when you claimed like a week ago that like a couple of days before you travel, you suddenly just become a fitness god and suddenly are super fit? Remember when you went to Thailand, even though like you could barely walk like 20 feet previously, suddenly you were saying you were walking for 8 hours a day without any form of issue, and then of course ended up in the A&E and then sat in a room for 5 weeks straight because like I don't personally don't think she actually went to A&E. I know a lot of people do because it's funnier that way. Personally, I think she is claiming the A&E thing happened because that was her excuse to then sit in the hotel room for 5 weeks straight. Because even like when the weeks went on, like people were like going, "Are you not better yet?" It was you had a boil. You had like a boil. Are you not better? Can you not go out? Remember it changed to her being like, "Actually, I'm very claustrophobic outside because they have low hanging electrical wires. So I'm kind of scared to go outside. Also, it's really busy and there's lots of people around. Also, guys, it's monsoon season and it's really wet out there." Even though she said she specifically chose to travel during monsoon season for like, I don't know, fucking whatever reason.
It's hard. It is not. It's harder for sure. It's more difficult.
I'm harder, that's for
I
sure.
get winded more easily. My lower back starts hurting.
No.
Just those
Just,
kind of
you know,
things.
fat.
So, if the airport has a service where you can request, like for certain people, you can request a wheelchair. Sometimes I approach these carts that are driving around and just like beg them for a ride to my gate, and they usually do oblige. Except when I went to Germany, they kind of just like said no. So
when I went to what I like to call the evil West, and they were Western and also by that definition, evil. Remember why she made such a big song and dance about people like taking someone aside, if you want to get an extendy seatbelt, make sure you take the person aside and have a nice little quiet sit down conversation with them, all that kind of shit. But then she's just like, if you see someone driving past in one of those Scootsim or golf cart things, make sure to get in their way, be a Just Stop Oil protester, dive in front of their car, and just say, "I'm not moving unless you drive me to gate 17. That's a little bit more embarrassing.
but here in the Middle East, they always have the complimentary service.
Oh my god. When you're in the Middle East, I guarantee, if I happen to travel through the Middle East this time, I guarantee they will not just randomly be waiting for me and go, "Complimentary so-and-so."
Even in the Montreal airport, they do have a little train station you can wait at. And
even in the evil West.
If you're disabled, you have mobility issues,
you're
or you're elderly. So feel free to use those.
Imagine you're putting yourself between like, an 80-year-old and someone who's actually disabled. You're putting yourself with them and taking a spot on the cart that should be for them because, I don't know, you like triple stack pizzas.
But as for me, I try to walk it unless I'm really, really struggling.
No, you don't. Not even
then
close.
I'll ask for a ride.
Never.
So, but being on the plane for a long time, it actually does feel good to walk a bit after, even though,
it's every once in a while she randomly claims that just doing exercise cures her sciatica. It's that sciatica that she was never diagnosed with, and she just randomly claims it happens every once in a while. Anytime someone says, "Hey, Foodie, how about you go for a walk today?" She's like, "Oh no, the sciatica. Oh, it's suddenly acting up there." Even though she's also claimed that walking literally cures the sciatica. So 2 + 2 should equal 4.
It's hard for me, so I'm gonna try to walk it. If it's really tough on me, I'll try to find somebody to take me.
Embarrassing.
But what I usually do is,
there's a lot of like, because even during her live stream where she said like she needs a vacation because pathetic, even in that she talked a lot about "I will do this" or "I will do when I get there" over and over and over again. And someone mentioned Sal's. She's, "Oh yeah, wait, oh yeah, I forgot Sal's next to me," because she was talking about being worried about someone sitting next to her in the plane. And people are like, "Wait, where's Salah during all this? Surely Salah's listening to me." Oh yes, oh yeah, how can I forget? Yes, Salah's sitting next to me. And like even now she's referring to like, "I will go and find someone to help, take me there." It's like, why wouldn't Salah, if you're like so immobile you can barely walk, then why are you out walking around looking for help? Why doesn't Salah just go and get the help for you?
just kind of, airports have a lot of seating usually, so
No.
I use those moving walkways, to take a break. I just stand on them and let them push me down the way.
She this is like, I don't know, she might as well do this in crayons with how like fucking baby's first lesson this is. It's that if you don't want to walk, you can get on the ground that moves and it moves you. It's like, yeah, that's what it's there for. Who's like, oh, mind blown, really? Oh, I never got on those things. I thought they looked weird.
I also find some seating somewhere. So I take...
Are we seriously at the fucking point where she's like, if you get tired walking, maybe sit down for a minute? Are we at that? Are we at that level of advice for fatties?
Take some walks and then I take some breaks. So taking breaks are very, very
God,
important.
We are. This is so
staying
embarrassing.
hydrated, I always have water on me. Actually,
we're at the point of make sure to stay hydrated. No shit. Oh my god, this is so embarrassing. I wonder how many minerals are meant to be in this.
right now talking, I'm pretty thirsty. So
that is so fucking embarrassing. I'm sorry, it's cringe. It's all I have for this. It is genuinely just her going, and by me mentioning water, I have this water, watch. And then she like drinks it like it's a demonstration video. But we all know it's so she can add another 15 seconds to the video, so you got another mid-roll add in.
Make sure you have a lot of water.
Water good.
For example, at the...
Just teaching all you humans out there that water is actually somewhat useful to not dying. Really, Chantel, I wonder how we got here without you giving us that incredible bit of information.
Doha Airport here. They're in Qatar.
Here,
there, you know, there, water bottles for free. So be on the lookout for those near the washrooms. Wow. So that's what I do. So that's how I treat my mobility issues, even when I...
Why I treat my mobility issues is sometimes I sit down, and I also drink water. If I'm dehydrated, I drink water. Wow. Glad you made an 18-minute long video about this.
I was in Thailand. Sometimes I didn't have a hard time walking around, and I could walk around for like, sometimes an hour, maybe 2 hours even.
Wow, it's so weird because when you're in Thailand, you claimed you were walking for 8 hours at a time, but now it's an hour. Amazing.
So, sitting down, but that was like just walking around looking at things, not like vigorous walking. But sometimes I would be tired on certain days, and I would walk, and then I would sit, walk and sit, and just find anywhere to sit. Like one time we were...
Try to remember. This woman, like, she went out and she filmed numerous things in one go. So, like, there was, like, a day she would upload, like, 4 videos worth of content. But it would literally be, like, getting a tuk-tuk, which is sitting down. It is her sitting down. To go to a cat cafe where she walked in and immediately sat down. And it also went to, like, Madame Tussauds, where it showed, like, I don't know, her walking around a little bit. And that's all she could do in a day. Was doing, like, the cat cafe, which is sitting down and having a cup of lychee or cheese soda or whatever the fuck I thought it was back then, and also doing Madame Tussauds, which I don't know, how long would that take you, an hour and a half? That's all she could do in a full day. But this is a woman who's claiming that she's so active and she did so much during Thailand. She was able to walk for 2 hours straight without ever even needing to sit down. It's like, so you could have done all Madame Tussauds in one go and got to the cat cafe. So then why did you need to go home afterwards, and why were you done?
We're walking on the street, and it was just really humid, and I was getting exhausted, and so I found these stairs, these steps, leading to a business building, and I just sat on them for a minute, you know.
She's actually at the point of giving advice of sometimes if there's not an actual seat, you can improvise and sit on something that's elevated. It's like, oh, thanks, Foodie. I was confused. I would walk out and see that there was no seat, and I'd be like, damn, and I'd just have to levitate there.
And I was okay to get up again and walk. So taking breaks is very important. You know your limits with...
We're at the point of just, remember, if you're fat, take breaks. It's like, yeah, I know.
Your mobility to make it more enjoyable for you. You know, ideally, like for me, I don't like the situation I'm in. I wish I was able to change it a bit,
then
but I
why
didn't.
Don't you?
So this is the situation I have to deal with. How am I going to make it comfortable? How am I going to
make
it?
You're not going to.
Good for myself.
You're not going to.
Another thing I find,
You're going to go to wherever you do go. If you actually end up going to wherever you're pretending you're going to go to, you will go there. You will film a couple of days of content, stretch it out across 2 weeks, maybe, to try and make it look like you did lots and lots of stuff. And then you will sit in your hotel room until the holiday is over, just like you did in Thailand, because that's literally all you do.
I don't know if like all obese people have this problem, but I'm always hot and I'm always sweaty. So I make sure to have a...
All I had was that sigh. I couldn't even muster up anything. You're just like, yeah, obviously, bro. It's called blubber.
I don't have it around here with me, but a personal fan, and make sure it's charged. Make sure your personal fan is with you at all times, especially in hotter countries. It's a lifesaver.
Guys, if it's hot, maybe you should have some kind of cooling device. And also, if that requires energy to power it, also make sure it's charged. Guys, now if you get thirsty, make sure you have a water bottle. And also make sure there's water inside the bottle so you can drink that.
That's the level of information we're getting here. Like, holy shit, I've been watching loads like travel advice things, and it's people like breaking down like transit systems, or they're breaking down like different payment methods you can use and different ways like certain restaurants will operate and different like cultural like faux pas you might encounter, and ways you should interact with people and ways you should interact and not interact, and certain laws that might catch you and stuff like that. Where a foodie is sitting here going like,
if you get thirsty, drink something that isn't Coke.
that's all we have.
Especially walking around airports when you're
I'm getting louder as
doing
time goes
more
on.
activity and you're sweaty.
Sorry,
so, yeah,
everyone.
that's pretty much how I deal with my mobility issues. I just make sure that I have
Places to sit.
and I choose activities and scope out the
She's 40. She's 40 and she's telling people, remember, if you get tired, take a break. She's fucking 40.
areas on Google and check out like images on Google Image to make sure that there's
No, you
enough
don't.
seating.
No,
Like you have to know your limit.
Oh my god, that's actually... I would have left that out because I have like shame. I can encounter shame in my life. I check ahead of time on Google Images to see if there's enough seats. Fuck me sideways.
Like if you can push yourself, but
Oh my
to a certain
God.
extent, you don't want it to become dangerous, and you don't want to overdo it and become sick
And
abroad
become, hospitalized like I was because I had a boil because I don't wash.
and have to worry about going to the hospital and stuff like that. So
Why don't you
like,
mention
just
yourself
be sure to know
there?
your limitations. It's
This is why I think the Thailand thing just didn't happen, and she just wanted an excuse to not go out and travel in any way. Because surely she'd be like, I know firsthand, about that. Surely you'd say something like that, because that's literally apparently what happened to her. But she doesn't even reference to it.
very important. I sometimes push myself too much, and then my muscles are sore, or I have blisters, or
A boil?
I just don't
boil?
really feel too well. I feel like I'm gonna pass out,
An
so I don't want to get to that
unwashed
point
boil?
ever again.
So suddenly she's not mentioning the unwashed boil, like whatsoever. That apparently ruined her Thailand trip. Apparently that just didn't happen now. Thank you.
It's better to take your time, and just have a seat if you really need to.
Well, you took your time by spending 5 weeks straight in your hotel room. It's interesting taking your time and not pushing yourself.
So yeah, that's even if that means going to the airport earlier or
No.
planning more time in between, like finding a flight that instead of having an hour time. Let's say your transit, if you
This isn't even like general travel advice. This is like it's common sense.
If it'll take you an hour and a half to get from one gate to the next gate, maybe don't book something that has a half an hour turnaround.
No, obviously not, Foodie.
Well, if you think it's going to take you a while to get through the airport security and all, maybe go there a little bit early. Maybe don't show up 10 minutes before your plane. It's like, no, Foodie, really, you're blowing my brain here.
So I can't talk today. What I do is
No.
I usually choose flights with a longer transit time if I have to take 2.
Except you don't, because that is your excuse every single time you're in Doha why you aren't walking. Because you're always, whoopsie doopsie, guys, there's only an hour, so I have to get this book. And I really wanted to walk it too. Oh, gosh, darn it.
If there's a stop in between, basically, if I have to take 2 flights, there's 2 legs. Because I know that an hour is not going to be enough time to rush for me. So to avoid that stress, I'd rather have a longer transit time than have to rush and overdo it for myself. So those are just little knacks that I use to deal with my.
Remember, her knacks are literally, make sure to sit down occasionally if you're very fat. If you're thirsty, drink something. And maybe, I don't know, plan your holiday in literally any way.
Issues when traveling.
God.
It can be, you can have a normal time or near normal time anyway.
No,
if you just choose things.
But you
that,
didn't.
If you know your limits, if you know.
You sat in a hotel room for 5 weeks. How the fuck is that? You could have a normal holiday like, normal people do. Oh yeah, most people, they love to go on holiday and sit there for 5 weeks in a hotel room.
Where you're going, if there's going to be seating and stuff like that. Another
God.
thing that
Make sure, if you're hungry, make sure to eat.
Are we gonna get that level of information here?
do is I
Try not to break
use
laws.
transportation. So
No.
I make sure that we go as
I
close
thought you fucking shitted yourself inside out and just quantum mechanic your way across Thailand.
to the place as possible. Get dropped off as close as possible.
Oh
I
my
don't want to
God.
exhaust myself. Use all of my energy reserves in case.
She literally, we're at the point of like, if you're taking a taxi somewhere, make sure it drops you off, where you're going, as opposed to somewhere where you aren't going. It's like, Wow. And here I was, just like getting random. I picked out a dartboard and just threw a dart. I was like, taxi man, take me here. Oh shit. That takes me to the north of the city. I wanted to go to well, fuck it. Guess I gotta walk from the north part.
Capabilities walking to the place and then having to do a few more hours of walking around. So
when have you ever done that,
it's kind of a little bit of extra money.
Remember the way she did that big Buddha statue and she claimed that she was walking around for 8 hours and literally the big Buddha statue was, I don't know, maybe like the diameter of the entire area the big Buddha statue was maybe like 100 meters, 150 meters maybe at a stretch.
For example, when we were in Thailand, you know, the metro was a lot cheaper than taking a Bolt or a taxi. But the Bolts and taxis in Thailand were not actually that expensive, so it didn't really make much of a difference, which is something I liked. You know, no matter how long the ride is, they had a set price, and it was usually only maybe 50 bahts more than taking the metro or something like that.
Wow.
So in Thailand, I took a lot of the taxis. I don't think we ever used public transportation because
you're scared of people seeing you and judging you in any way, and also it actually requires slightly more exercise from you. It's nothing. Wasn't Salah at one point like arguing with some random like tuk-tuk driver, and it was like, I don't know, the difference between paying him like £4 and £4.50.
It was hot, it was humid. I knew that I wouldn't be able to walk too far, especially like where our hotel was. It was kind of out of the way, so I didn't want to exhaust myself knowing that I'm not like a normal healthy person. And that's another.
Most normal healthy people, they're like a 5 out of 10 on the fitness scale, and maybe like a 4.7 or something like that.
Know who you are and know your limits. That's so important. And don't be ashamed. Like, don't be comparing yourself to a healthier person and saying, like, I keep it in the back of my mind that yes, I would like to be like that. I would like to be healthier. Okay, but at the same time, while I'm living this, I have to accept what I am at the moment and try.
Well, no, maybe you should try and fix what you are at the moment. I can just accept what I am. No, you shouldn't. That's why you're here. That's why you're doing this. It's where you have to explain the intricacies of begging people to drive you to your gate because you can't walk there.
To enjoy myself regardless. So just, you know, I'm not saying be proud of your limitations, but just don't let them deter your traveling and ruin it for you. Don't be like ashamed, like, oh, I have to take, you know, I have these mobility issues, I need certain things. Like, don't be ashamed of that.
No, but you should be, because that would then convince you to change. Like, if you're actually sitting and go like, don't know, that was really embarrassing. Oh God, I really wish that hadn't happened. Then you would change for the next time. If you're just like, so good. Fuck it. Well, I don't care if I inconvenience people sitting next to me. I don't care if I stick my feet out and basically spill out and take up half the aisle so people have to squeeze past me anytime they want to get up and go to the toilet or anything. I don't. So I just have to, I'm accepting who I am. You guys should just accept me for me as well. It's like, if you're embarrassed by that and feel some form of shame about that, then you're more likely to want to actually change it and fix yourself in, you know, in any way, like at all.
Don't try to act like a thinner, more in shape person and do what they do.
That's literally
just know
what
you need to do for you and do it, you know. Like for me, I couldn't I don't think I could fathom, like, you know, taking public transportation, walking for a bit, getting on another metro, walking for a bit. Like, I have anxiety issues, and
No, you're super morbidly obese. It's not an anxiety issue, especially when you're making videos on YouTube about how you're a big fat dainty girl.
I also have mobility issues, so for me that just wasn't ideal. So I just took I took the taxis, the Grabs, the Bolts, and just have them drop you off right in front of the place, and then you can enjoy more of your time actually doing the activity instead of worrying about all those anxieties that you have being an overweight person with mobility issues and just getting there, you know. So yeah, you can save a few bucks, but for me it's just wasn't feasible. So yeah, we put out the extra money for that. The transportation was important.
Yeah, we put out the extra money, you know. My Salah, my super rich husband, he pulled out that thick wad of cash. We gave that guy an extra 10p. Yeah, and he drove us right there. She's really making it sound like this is the kind of how someone would talk if they're like super morbidly obese and they're like, you know what? I literally can't fly economy. The chairs are too small. They're too uncomfortable. I feel too bad about how I'm treating everyone around me. So I just either splash out and I buy the seat on either side of me and I have 3 seats to myself and I can relax. And, you know, I still feel bad about it, but at least I'm not inconveniencing anyone else. at least, you know, I'm making it a lot more comfortable for myself, but I have to pay for that, and I understand that I have to pay for that. Or maybe I upgrade it to business class or something like that, or economy plus or something like that, to make it a little bit better for myself. She is seriously like, guys, we decided to do it. You know, we decided to splash out, spend the big bucks to make it slightly more comfortable for me, guys. Yeah, we spent an extra 10p on a taxi service from a super impoverished country. Yeah, we decided to do that, guys. I know, big spender. Some people, you're probably jealous when I'm saying I did something like that, guys. But, you know, we can't all be big ballers on YouTube.
So even if you have to balance something else, like if you have less shopping money to spend more on transportation, if it makes your trip more enjoyable that way, then you do that. It's kind of like just checks and balances kind of deal. So yeah. So anyways, there's plenty of activities you can do that don't require, you know, hiking in a mountain and stuff like that. Things that you're just not physically able to do. You can find things, you know, just an equal amount of things that you are physically able to do and still have fun on your trip as an overweight person. So I hope that
Amazing. This is the point where she's like, and don't worry, there are lots of things fat people can do. Like, yep. So anyway, you're able to mention things that only fit people could do there, like climbing mountains, etc., etc. You know, like, why can't you say, for example, guys, you could go and do this. If you're going somewhere that has a good public transport system, maybe you could, you know, take a public transport to this amazing, you know, beach out here or something like that, something like that. Anything that a fat person could potentially do. But it's like, it's just the stuff that you could do, you know, like, you trust me. There wasn't stuff that I could do and I chose not to, and I sat in my hotel room the entire time. But there's stuff that you guys could do, probably. I don't know, I didn't look.
Some of your anxieties, if you're overweight and you've always dreamed of traveling and you're waiting to lose weight to do it, there's always ways you can travel. So don't worry about that. You can follow along, you know, our travel journey for more. I also have some travel videos on our Salah and Chantal channel. You can check it out. The link's in the description. And I also have some channels in my I also have some videos on my channel as well. I'll try to link them in the description as well. So you can
I'll try and do that, guys, but I don't know. Like I said earlier on, that's a lot of work, and I am fat and very lazy. I'll try and link the videos. It's not hard. You copy and paste. That's literally all you do.
See how I traveled throughout various times and didn't think I could
throughout various times. It's so bad that you can't say during all of my holidays or anything like that, because you can't claim that. Because they were all visa runs, and you have to try and pretend that the reason why you coincidentally you had to leave Kuwait every 3 months on the dot was, just, you know, for the certain reasons and such. It's like, because one time you pretended that Salah was like, I don't know, cheating on you or something like that, and you guys were suddenly breaking up and you had to leave. Oh, what was the other time when suddenly Kuwait didn't have any healthcare services and you had to leave for healthcare reasons? Oh, another time when you had to go for like a mental health appointment or some bullshit like that, because you can't just be honest and say there was a visa run.
Could do it either, but I did, and each time you know, do something you don't think you can, you get stronger and it gets easier to do. So yes. Anyway, thank you for listening to me. So I'm not ready to travel as I thought I would be, but we're gonna still do this. It'll, you know, be interesting and a little more challenging, but
it won't be a little bit more challenging. It's exact same level of challenge as we've had anytime. You're fat and struggles to fit in the seat. We've had that numerous times. You're fat and can't walk through an airport. We've had that numerous times. You're fat and you're going to get on holiday and you're probably going to sit in your hotel room. We've had that numerous times.
There are ways, and I'm, you know, head set on enjoying myself anyway and not getting too down and not dwelling on the fact that I'm not smaller. I'm not in better shape, and inshallah we will still have a good time. So anyways, that's it.
I've never heard someone be like so miserable describing about to go on holiday, apparently. So do I think she's gonna go on holiday? Possibly. I have no idea. Part of me is thinking it's gonna be like an ERBs or something like that, and it'd probably be a lot more interesting if it was, and also I wouldn't be sad about missing it. But who knows, guys? Anyway, that's gonna be it, guys. I will see you when I get back. Have a good one. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.